I will ask Christian Grant, who's with Comitech, to update us on the framework for safe mixed traffic operation in underground mining project. Christian?
Thank you. The project is about coexistence between automated machines and manned workers, machines, and vehicles. We are focusing underground, and I guess it's like the salespeople say, the pain is big there. It's probably bigger than anywhere else. You could use the same kind of concepts for other industries. But that's where we're focusing. The background, of course, is that automation until operation has been seen as to have a high potential to increase safety and at the sites, and of course also productivity. We have for quite some time invested a lot on automating our machines. The problem has turned out that we're not getting the productivity of the machines. Since we're not getting the productivity, the automated machines are not being used. The reason we found, or that is quite obvious, is that it has to do with system safety, basically that the machines themselves have to be safe. So we are addressing this topic. We are doing it. We are quite some coming from the automotive industry. If we move to the next slide, in the automotive industry, we basically learned during the hype of automation that system safety, functional safety is hard. It's difficult. And if you can't prove that it's safe, then it's really, really hard to claim that it's safe. So the principles that we are looking to go into this work with is basically that we need to be able to formally prove that we have safe systems. And so the project is basically just about assuring, proving that we can run manual machines, vehicles together with automated machines in the mines. For that, we have some principles that I would say when we work in the automotive industry, trying to get automated cars, trucks on the roads, didn't really consider that, and we learned better. We found out that first, yes, you can test, you can validate safety, but it requires a lot of hours. So for the levels that we consider, where we consider it to be safe, that the risk is low enough, it's most often 100,000 or millions of hours that you need to run the system to prove that it's safe. It might not sound much, but now being from Scandinavia, if we had installed the technology on the Viking ships back in the days, on all the ships that actually was built, not the boats, but all the ships that were built during the Viking ages, they would still be sailing, trying to prove that those systems were safe. So another approach is then to go formally, basically by proving it by math and physics. So in that, you come down to that you need a limited context. This is from a mathematician called Gödel, published in 1930s or so. You need a limited set, basically. And a site could be such a limited context. We need to prove arguments rather than claim things. We actually need to do measurable safety over instead of subjective judgments, which means that we need actually by physics to be able to prove what we measured to get basically a true prediction out of it. That also would mean that a formula system, you can actually judge the level of risk. It's not just saying that it's unacceptable risk that is safe. You can actually measure the risk. That also means that the last bullet here, you actually push the definition of risk sort of to society, since we are the aim here is to build a system that we can prove safe. I hope that makes sense. It actually means that you need to consider the site as a system. So instead of having each machine, a vehicle, as their own system, looking into something that you don't really know what it is, you instead know all the machines and actors in your system on your site. That's the foundation of the concept. We move to the next slide. And the idea here is to write this series of white papers. First, on the theoretical foundation. That's basically the math, the physics, going into logic, how to set it up. Then, as you know, you can do theory, and it might be really, really hard to prove it in practice. So we intend then to have one paper that actually gives an example of how you implement such theories. Then the third paper, industry application, that is actually to target that when you introduce a new technology, you also need to change your way of working. If you introduce new technologies, don't change your way of working, it's often hard to get them productive in the processes you run. And the last one is towards building an ecosystem. To be able to do these formal proofs, you actually need infrastructure. You can't only be on the vehicle or mobile machine side. You need to have a system that both is part of the infrastructure and part of the machines. That doesn't exist today, which means that we need an approach to build up an ecosystem that the industry can rely on for this to work in the long run. We go to the last slide. So what we're doing currently is that we are now starting up the white papers according to the process Heather described earlier. And then, of course, we are approaching the project, right? We are setting up the project on creating a complete framework that the idea is that these white papers will give the description of. Thank you.